to speak about the themes that we have here today on World Teachers Day. So before I even start, happy World Teachers Day. And that's to all our teachers. Some 30 odd years ago, it's actually 30 even years, my teacher will be disappointed to call 30 odd, but 30 odd years ago, the first World Teachers Day was celebrated. And this date has come to symbolize the declaration of teachers, the celebration of teachers, and the declaration of their importance, the tremendous contributions that they play in everyone's lives. It also gives us an opportunity to step back and reflect on the role they play today in ways in which we can better support them so that they can help us deliver and develop our countries. This year's theme is valuing teachers' voices towards a new social contract for education. Now, the theme rightly emphasizes the importance of adding teachers' perspectives to the development across the entire chain of policies, initiatives, trainings that affect their growth and their development, because that ultimately affects the outlook of our nation through the education that our children get. Now, luckily here in Sierra Leone and under the leadership of His Excellency, we have been acting way ahead of our time. There is no policy, there is no initiative in this country that does not have the input and participation of our teachers. The Sierra Leone Teachers Union, NACOT, CPSS, and all of them have been entrenched in the ministry. I think the only thing left is that they've not been given an office yet in the ministry. But I'm sure they probably think the conference room is their office because they are there many times during the week. Now, our teachers also are represented in the highest level decision making, not just in the Teaching Service Commission, but they are also part of many commissions and many boards of this country. In Sierra Leone, we have not included and respected teachers' voices because we were told to, but it is because we understand that it is fundamental. And even the joke that was shared, where every teacher is an auntie, every teacher is an uncle, it is because our culture has respected and understood the importance of teachers' voices in our society. Now, this is the 4th edition of His Excellency's initiative, the Presidential National Best Teachers Award. His Excellency is a man who, when he says something, he does it. 6 years ago, when he was running for president, he said when he won, he will have the Presidential National Best Teachers Award. It took us a year to arrange it, but by the end of the day, he established what has become a landmark celebration for teachers all over the country. And we've done it by leaving no one behind. We've gone to the most remote areas, we've identified teachers who would never have been recognized, and we've brought them and put them and given them a platform. And we did not give them a platform for political reasons. We gave them a platform because they are the best at what they can do. I would like to congratulate all teachers who are in our classrooms, and especially our award winners today. Last year, in addition to the cash prize that the winners received, His Excellency also said that he will give them parcels of land. I want to tell you that because His Excellency that talk and do, and if he starts any game in the donor, I want to tell you that those teachers have now been given their parcels of land. This year we will continue with that tradition. And we will give the award-winning teachers cash and land in the districts where they come from. We're also going to add something where we are recognizing schools with the best performances at public examinations over the past 3 years. Because the whole point about transformation is consistency and investment into systems that mean we can continue to have our children come through our systems and they can be productive and made of substance, high quality. We heard when the previous speaker said that we are also, for the first time, bringing this award outside Freetown. It's not the first time that this government has decided that we must bring governance to the people. In this hall where you are, earlier this year, we held a full cabinet meeting in this hall as part of our efforts to bring in government to the people. And so I want to thank all of you for coming from all over the country to being in Bo, spending time in Bo, and sharing in the culture that makes us one people. As a government who continues to prioritize human capital development, we still maintain 20% of our budget to education. And when His Excellency spoke about Feed Salon as his flagship program, many people said, oh, the value for their education. But we have the Big Five. And within the Big Five, all very important, human capital development remains an integral part, even in our success of the Feed Salon program. So the investments that we are doing as a government in education will continue. And we will continue to ensure that the millions and millions of our children who go to school will continue. And I was just told that as part of that decentralization, in 2025, we will take the awards to Bombali. 2026, we will go to Kenema, and 2027, we will be in Putloko. 2028 is still a secret. Now, we have continued to invest in foundational learning, putting teachers at the heart of all of the training that our kids get. We have trained tens of thousands of teachers in literacy, numeracy, adult education, civics, comprehensive sexuality education, because we know that teachers need training, because we know that everyone needs training. If we're going to teach with compassion, if we're going to ensure that our 5 C's critical thinking is embedded in our children, then we must train our teachers. We're also having training for our leaders, the principals, the head of departments, the vice principals, everyone. And in addition to this, we're providing teaching materials and techniques aimed at enhancing learning and piloting programs all across the country. Now, because technology is such an important part and feature of our programs, Sierra Leone is one of the only countries countries that use ChatGPT AI for our teachers to ask questions. And those questions, those models are trained on our learning materials. And thousands of our teachers are testing that. I still use it when I want to explain something to my children at home because I have the app and I have the number. I still go to that teacher AI app and ask the questions. I encourage the ministry to ensure that it is available to all teachers who have the devices and who desire it. We will continue to ensure that we will reassess teachers annually. We will promote teachers based on the policies that we've established, and we will recruit teachers because an investment in teachers is critical for the quality of our education. The Teaching Service Commission is one of the best institutions that has been revived and strengthened by His Excellency's vision. Now we recognize Dr. Stanila Beckley, who was the first chair, and with the support of His Excellency, we saw what TSC became. And Mr. Kwenratsaki, our minister now, took that even a notch further. And I'm very happy to hear of the state of the Teaching Service Commission that we keep getting better and better and better. I would like to congratulate the entire Teaching Service Commission for the great work that you're doing. I do want to take this moment again because we can never thank teachers enough. All the teachers in Sierra Leone for supporting the government's effort to transform the lives of our children. Now, I know it's difficult. We've not always had a smooth affair. I was at the center of a teacher negotiation during my time at MBSSC. And many of those people I did not see as adversaries. We held our position. And you know, I must tell you, it's not really a secret. But one of the guys who he and I we were in Palama all time. They were the Teacher Solidarity Movement. But I will tell you that there's no day in which Khan and I do not say hello to each other today. Because at the end of the day, when we all fight for improving the lives of teachers, and we come to a middle ground, and we have this hard and difficult dialogue and negotiation, and we agree and settle, it is for the interest of this country. And this is why, because I am also at this podium, I know that the MBSSC is still asking teachers to complete their CAS. We have to complete their CAS. If you are not complete that CAS, stay number 5. It is important that we keep reminding you to fulfill your responsibilities, because when you don't, thousands of children suffer. And we don't want those children to suffer. We don't want to be a case, it doesn't matter whose fault is it. Now MBSSC their fault, now YX their fault, now the head teacher their fault, now the IT man their fault. It doesn't matter how their fault. Now that they suffer. And the people that they suffer. So nobody should care whose fault it is. It is all of our responsibilities to ensure that we do the things that we need to do to submit the marks for our children, to submit the information for our children before the deadline, before the portal closes. Because we serve with the shame. Also, that we don't want to say, that we can go pay for help with the portal. We are more or less small shape as a country. When we serve, maybe say we submit all the information that we need. These dialogues, these hard conversations are what are required to transform our country. Now, this was not part of the program, and since she's standing, and I was going to invite her anyway, Dr. Kanu, please come on stage so I can embarrass you. education officer, and I was having breakfast with His Excellency and the then Chief Minister, Professor Francis, and I heard them speak about a Dr. Kanu that was supposed to come from Canada to be the Chief Education Officer. And, you know, His Excellency, they found her CV online, Sierra Leonean, brilliant woman, and His Excellency said, let them call this lady to come. So they invited Dr. Kanu. It was just a name, but I was fascinated by the profile that she had, and she came to the ministry. And then a couple months later, I was appointed as Minister of Education. And I went to the ministry, and I met an amazing team. All of them are here. But Dr. Kanu is the one person who, if I sent her a message at 11 p.m., she will reply at 11:01. If I send her an email at 3 a.m., she will reply to my email at 3:01 a.m. If I send her a document to read, she will read that document and do track changes and send it back to me by the end of the day. If I'm in a meeting and I say we need to draft a policy, she will draft that policy within a week and bring it to me. Dr. Kanu, I think, since this is one of your final official events as Chief Education Officer, I want to really tell you from the bottom of my heart that you have been an amazing human to all the children and people of this country. And on behalf of His Excellency, we are very proud of you, and we cannot thank you enough for your service. Thank you. Please give a round of applause and innovation for our Chief Education Officer, Dr. Kanu, for the service that she's done for this country. Thank you. Now, on behalf of His Excellency President Julius Madabio, I want to warmly congratulate all of the winners. You're all winners, but only a few of you will get the main prize. But as you heard from one of our winners, our expectations remain the same for each and every one of you. That you must be examples, not just for the teachers in your school, but you must be examples for our country. I'll say two last things before we move on to the real celebration. I want to use this opportunity to announce, and perhaps I'll invite the Minister of Higher Education to come and stand next to me when I do this, because it's an idea. The Minister of Higher Education has been part of this effort now for 2 years. This is her second year. The first year she had just been a minister for about a month or two. But this year, she, at cabinet, turned to me and said, you know, the education cycle is from pre-primary to higher and tertiary education. And she thinks that we must recognize the higher and tertiary institutions at these awards. So starting next year, the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education will incorporate awarding higher and tertiary institutions at these events in the Presidential National Best Teachers Award. Thank you very much, Madam Minister. Now, the second thing I want to say is to actually break a myth, because there's a myth, because it's funny, but my job is to break myths. That's what we did with radical inclusion. There was a myth that said, if God put there and get better, then go to class, you want to go get better. But not so true. Instead, you want to go to get better to go down. That was a myth. We are myth breakers. There's also a myth, by the way, that people don't want to become teacher. It's the biggest myth that exists. There are 85,000 teachers in Sierra Leone. That is more teachers than the entire labor force in Sierra Leone. The people on payroll, 35,000 of them are teachers. That is more than a third. No sign of wasn't a one-tone teacher. So I think actually the truth is this, and I think it's the secret that people have been hiding from all of our people. It's not everybody who can be a teacher. It's only the most special humans, the people with the biggest hearts, the people with the greatest compassion, the people who will sacrifice for themselves, for their families, for their communities. It is those people who can be teachers. So it's reversed. They want the one-tone teacher. Not to say that teacher they don't want to do. Then they will be teacher. The people that way to be teacher, and then a teacher then. And I think it is really important that we understand that in Sierra Leone, the teaching profession is the most respected, the most noble, and the most revered profession in Sierra Leone. It may not show by the money in your pocket, it may not show by the size of the houses you have, but it shows in how we as the people respect you. So let's break that myth today. And I want to end by saying, as we come and award excellence here today, as we gather every day to speak our truths, His Excellency has given us a vision. That vision is the Big Five. And the teachers are essential in helping us achieve the Big Five. And when we do it together with the principles of radical inclusion, we will absolutely deliver. Thank you.